everyone, welcome back to Flourish with Ash. And of course, we have my friend Reedhika Puliani with us today. Okay, so today we have a very fun, a very interesting, and a very, I think, the most passionate topic for us.
Yeah, for the both of us.
For both of us. We're super passionate about this topic and all that it brings with it. Because we have personal experiences.
Definitely.
We have a company based on personal experiences and things like that. So yes, today we'll be talking about. You want to say that?
Fermentation, fermented foods, fermented products.
Yes.
Curd, yogurt, which she doesn't eat. But
I do not eat. I do not eat curd, but I am in the process.
Yeah, you're in the process since when?
I don't eat it since a child. But okay, I do eat.
You do
Other-
drink buttermilk, right? At least once in a while. Oh, that also is.
You know what? I actually had a whole spoon of curd in someone's wedding, and I couldn't spit it out, and I had to behave myself.
Oh my
I just
god!
ate. So I do not fall in that category now.
That's great.
Okay, I don't eat since a child, but I recommend highly, and I've been trying a lot, and I eat a lot of, if somebody hides the curd in like curry and stuff, if I can't see it, then I eat. Okay, so coming back to the topic, today we'll be talking about how fermentation, fermented foods affect our gut, and in turn our mood, our decision making, a whole lot of things. Alright, so starting with what are fermented foods? Do you want to
Yeah, fermented foods are basically, you can say, live bacteria that is used as a starter culture, and then that's how it grows. Okay, but when we use the term bacteria, we generally say that, oh, that's going to be bad, for the stomach or for your gut in general. But when we talk about fermented foods, there is good bacteria as well as bad bacteria. So here the focus is just on the good bacteria, and we generally focus on something called as Bifidobacterium and Lactobacillus. So these are the two main species, that is found in curd, yogurt, in all the fermented foods that we eat in general, which is extremely good. Yeah, extremely good for the gut. Yeah.
Awesome. So yes, fermented foods, as she said, is foods that are prepared using good bacteria, mostly those two strains. Okay, in Lactobacillus there are many strains. Depending on your food, they're picked and they're cultured. So that's one thing. Now these fermented foods are a rich source of bacteria for us. Why? Because if you see, there are about 100 trillion good bacteria in our gut. That's more than the number of human cells we have.
Yeah.
So that means we are more bacteria than humans.
Definitely.
Yes. And things like stress or your food habits, lack of sleep, different practices, lack of exercise also in fact affects the amount of bacteria in your stomach, and you need an external source to replace it when it goes down. Yes. So okay, Reeds, tell us why we need to replace this bacteria and why we need those kinds of good bacteria. What does it do to it?
Okay, so basically, especially in cases that we see, be it IBS, IBD, or anything that is gut related in general, is when we start focusing on these kinds of foods. Okay, and it's often seen that if this bacteria is lacking in your gut, you will definitely end up having some issue related to the gut. Okay. And that in turn is of course going to affect your mental state, it's going to affect your psychology, it will definitely lead to a lot of mood swings as well. Okay, so that is why it is very, very important to consume these foods. But apart from curd and buttermilk, also there are a lot of foods right, that are fermented.
So yeah, before we go into that, I would like to bring into notice that IBS and these kind of gut issues are basically when you're either having constipation or you're having loose stools and your gut is not able to hold or absorb the food. So one thing, you are super annoyed that you have no nutrition, you are weak, your body is not able to function right,
Yeah.
you're either running to the washroom all the time,
Yeah.
or you're struggling staying in the washroom due to constipation. It's a very uncomfortable situation to be in, and most times there are many antibiotics that do not work for these.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get it cured, and they're expensive as well, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and also a lot of antibiotics, the word antibiotic meaning to kill bacteria. The kind of medicine that we're taking constantly is washing out a lot of good bacteria from the gut.
Yeah, that generally people don't realize that,
Yeah.
you know, they just continue to keep having it.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
noticed, Rees, like usually when we work with patients in the hospital, right, or post-operation, they're on so many meds. They always complain of loose motions, or they
They do.
always complain of
Constipation
stomach pain.
also.
Either of it, because this is ruining their bacteria balance.
It is definitely.
Because
it
of
is,
which
yeah.
your gut is not in a healthy state.
Yeah. And you know, when such things happen, you generally see that the person's not even decisive enough. You know, they are okay mentally, but at the same time, they're not in a very good.
Irritated.
And such things are directly connected to the gut.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to fill us in on how?
Yeah, so there's this one nerve called as the vagus nerve that passes from the brain to the gut. It's directly connected. So anything that happens in the brain kind of affects the gut, and anything that happens in the gut also affects the brain. So it's kind of a two-way street, you know. So that is why it becomes very important to take care of both the aspects.
Yeah.
You can't just take care of your food habits and expect to be mentally fine. That's not going to happen. So that is why we always use a holistic approach.
Yeah. And also in your gut, there are these millions of bacteria which are producing millions of chemicals, and these chemicals act like signals to your brain.
Yeah.
That's where, you know, they're getting that sync.
Yeah.
If at all something, okay, for example, you are sad, right?
Yeah.
If you're sad and then
Yeah.
you usually can't eat.
And even
Or-
if you do eat, you will see that, you know,
You're
most of the
throwing up.
times throwing up or constipated.
Or
Anything,
other way around, you can crave like a certain food. a lot.
That's the emotional part of it.
Yeah.
again,
And then again, if you're like stressed, the first thing is you run to the washroom because your food is not stable. Because this whole signals are happening.
And you know,
Yeah.
one more important thing is that if your gut is not good, right, no matter whichever best food in the world you eat, it's not going to get absorbed properly. There's no point of eating that food then.
Yeah.
So
that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So, alright, so that's fermented foods, benefits, and there is a direct connection between your brain and your gut. Definitely we'll keep, you know, adding more of this. Also with my startup, Biome, which works with probiotics, you will definitely get more information. You should probably go follow on Instagram, Biome Progummies, to get more information on this. Meanwhile, what are the things that we can do on a day-to-day basis, like to get probiotics into our gut, apart from taking Biome Progummies?
Okay, so there are certain foods, you know, that you can make at home and consume them at least once in a day. Okay, if not on all your meals, but at least once in a day. Something maybe like curd along with the lunch that you take, or buttermilk as a snack in between. Okay, or you can also include idlis and dosas and
homemade.
Homemade, exactly, doklas and what else? Kimchi and kombucha are also the upcoming things.
And then a lot of people, miso,
tofu.
people are so into
Yeah.
sushi rolls and miso, kimchi, even
So-
wine, like a small sip or two of wine. Is
Yeah,
that
see-
advisable on a daily basis?
Yeah, they
It-
say
it-
that
yeah.
alcohol is bad. Well, it's not all that bad.
Amount needs amount.
Yeah, maybe wine and beer both, I guess.
Yeah, but again, it depends on the amount.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Not too much of it, please. Not too much of it.
Actually, no, I don't even recommend it.
Yeah, it become controversy.
Controversial. But we're just saying it is a fermented food.
Yeah. Even pickles, Aish.
Pickles, So fermented food totally comes in all shapes, colors, textures,
Definitely.
sizes, everything.
Yeah, so you don't have to really go look anywhere. It's all in your house, it's all in your kitchen.
Yeah.
That's that's all.
So definitely these are good probiotic sources, but one thing, most of our packed foods, including curd, do not have the live bacteria.
Yeah. That's a very important thing. Even Yakult for that matter, it's very important to see the manufacturing date of it. So if
Yes.
it's a little old, there's no point in taking it.
Yeah, because we're talking about live bacteria that have to be certain, like definitely stored. If you look at curd, all of these are pasteurized. So we were saying that all of these are live bacteria and they have to be certainly stored at a certain temperature with certain kind of packing.
Conditions,
Packing, food, you need to keep them alive. So food, temperature, but all of this can't be done on most cases when they are packed and stored for long periods of time.
Yeah, so the longer you store them and the longer it is from the manufacturing date, there's no point of taking that.
Yeah, because your bacteria, they're going to start dying out. Yeah. Wise to choose when you're choosing any probiotic, something that is alive.
Yeah, and I feel that such foods are worth being invested in.
Nice.
No doubt.
But yeah, definitely not boasting about that.
I can, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So that is something. Invest right? Invest smart, because this is about your health, and there's nothing that can ever replace it.
Yeah, you'd rather invest in such things than in hospitals and bills.
Oh my God, please no. Oh, reminding me about hospitals, I've seen so many people who are on antibiotics and who have taken like a number of days in the hospital. Yeah, these people who are on antibiotics their whole gut is being
washed out.
Out. All the bacteria being killed.
Yeah, and not just antibiotics, even antacids for that matter.
The basic antacid that people pop in, right?
Yeah, you just pop in a tablet just for your acidity. I mean, who does that?
Everybody actually, because they don't know the effects of it.
Yeah, it kills the entire gut biome. I mean, it's just so bad for you. Don't do that.
Yeah, so it's super important that you maintain and keep these bacteria alive.
Exactly. It's
the
very
whole process of brain, gut, your moods, your decision making, digestion, absorption. Your whole living system is because of these bacteria.
Yeah. Like the vagus nerve.
Yes.
Yeah, which connects the brain and the gut, right? So it's like a two-way street. If your brain is not okay, your gut won't be okay. If your gut is not okay, your brain also won't be okay.
So it's super important to maintain that.
It's very, very important.
Yeah. Coming to another study, and actually even I've got to notice this, that with my clients that I'm working, a lot of them, actually if you ask me, about 99% of them who have been affected with COVID have had hyper hair fall issues, skin issues, gut issues, definite gut issues, B12 deficiency for sure.
My God, even B12 is associated
produced by the bacteria.
By the bacteria in the gut itself. So basically, if your gut bacteria is not okay, your B12 levels are not going to be okay.
Yeah.
So,
and for all of them, they did give them multivitamins, B12 shots, super painful. And the base is that your entire gut and the bacteria is washed out.
Yeah, that just sucks.
Yeah. So now when that has happened, especially during post-COVID, you have to work on your fermented foods. You have to work on your probiotics. And start that whole process.
And I think it was this one more interesting study that I came across on autism. Autistic children being given these probiotics or prebiotics in any form. Okay. So once they were given that, not to a very large extent, but to some extent, their mental capacity had improved.
Oh, okay.
So that's like a huge breakthrough for such diseases,
Such conditions, it's a huge breakthrough.
It is definitely,
So imagine by just taking a small jelly or like a small cup of probiotic curd, you are actually changing the life of somebody in such a condition.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
really beautiful.
And even, it's not just the probiotics, even prebiotics also, I don't think many of them would have heard about it, right? So
Yeah.
these are basically foods for your probiotics, okay? So the next time you eat curd, maybe maybe eat it with oats, or maybe add in some flaxseed powder to your curd,
Ginger,
or
garlic.
ginger, garlic, or even your isabgol, the psyllium husk that we have. Even that's a great form. So all these things combined together will definitely
Vegetables,
give you
fruits also, because it has insoluble
the fiber.
Yeah, the fiber
yeah,
is what
yeah.
keeps these bacteria.
Even ripe bananas, unripe bananas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all these things. So yeah, maybe combine these foods and have them. That
Yeah.
would be a great thing for your gut.
So the purpose of this video was to
Yeah.
start your awareness on fermented foods, start awareness on what they do to you, how you can consume them, what you should choose if you're choosing an outside source, if not home cooked, right, homemade. So this is just like a starting awareness for you, but we really want you all to come up, ask us questions, and interact with us so that we can help you and guide you in the right path. Okay, you can reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
Drop in your comments, your questions, whatever you have regarding this. And
Yes.
we'll
So
surely
one
get
of
back to
us
you.
will get back. Thank you.
Thank you.